evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Maisy Mok. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. First day of electronic tolls at Tsing Sha Highway leaves motorists confused. 8 people shot dead at a mall in yet another mass shooting in the United States. Traffic was mostly smooth on the Tsing Sha Highway when an electronic toll system came into operation today. But there were still occasional scary moments as some drivers were either pulled up suddenly or swerved into the wrong lane, Chloe Fong reports.
After a 2-month delay, the city's new electronic toll payment system, or Hong Kong e-toll, was finally up and running at the Tsing Sha Highway. From 5 a.m., drivers no longer had to stop at the toll plaza, as sensors will register tags installed on vehicle windscreens using radio frequency identification, or RFID technology. But even after months of promotion, some motorists were still caught by surprise. These 7-seater drivers seemed to be looking for a manual toll booth before eventually giving up. This truck even pulled up near the booth, obstructing traffic behind. The traffic lanes around the toll plaza were also rearranged, and several truck drivers had to reverse out of the bus lane, while a double-decker did the opposite, missing the bus lane entrance at first. Speaking at a press briefing, Commissioner for Transport Rosanna Lau said more signage will be put up ahead of the working day tomorrow to minimize the confusion. She insisted vehicles not equipped with a tag can still proceed. They will be issued an electronic bill, which must be settled within 14 days, or else a surcharge of $175 applies. As of 10 a.m., tags were not detected on around 1,000 or 1 in 6 vehicles passing through the highway. That roughly aligned to the 15% of vehicles who still have not signed up for the system, which will be expanded to all government tunnels by the end of this year. Most drivers welcomed the change and hoped it can eliminate the long queues at tunnel entrances. Chloe Fong, HKIBC.
A man has been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter following a scuffle with a security guard in Sha Tin. Police were called to Jat Min Chun shortly after midnight, where a fight broke out near the estate's car park. When officers arrived, they found the 69-year-old security guard unconscious at the booth. He was rushed to Prince of Wales Hospital, but was certified dead shortly after. Assistant Sha Tin District Commander Wong Wai Yin confirmed the guard had an argument with a driver over parking fees. She said there was physical confrontation, but the exact circumstances remain unclear. The 29-year-old driver was arrested. A small amount of suspected cannabis was also recovered from his vehicle. Sports Minister Kevin Yeung said it is time to move on from the national anthem saga, but not before the Ice Hockey Association is punished. He did not reveal what kind of punishment is deemed appropriate just days after the body submitted a report on the incident. Last Thursday, the Hong Kong Ice Hockey Association submitted a report to the Sports Federation and Olympic Committee regarding the national anthem blunder in February. But instead of burying the hatchet, the two bodies stepped up their finger-pointing in the following days, accusing each other of incompetence. Today, Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism Kevin Yeung chimed in. We have now requested the Sports Federation to impose a suitable penalty on the Ice Hockey Association, after which the episode should draw to a close, he said. reading out a statement at the airport before his duty visit to Hainan Island. Yuan said it was obvious that the association did not adopt the necessary measures to ensure the correct anthem was played, referring to the tournament in Bosnia, where the Hong Kong men's team finished as runners-up. The anthem was correctly played when the SAR women's team won a competition in Romania, but only after the association realized the organizer had again got hold of the wrong song. Yuan said that was proof that the first mistake could have been avoided. While the officials seemed to side with the sports federation, he also called on the group to work out with the ice hockey body to rectify its corporate governance. But he did not respond to claims that the federation had looked down on the ice hockey players and left without answering questions from the media. The Observatory has issued the first red rainstorm warning signal of the year, as up to 60 millimeters of rain was recorded. The weather is expected to improve from the middle of this week. The weekend plans for many Hong Kongers were ruined when the city braced for its first red rainstorm warning signal of the year. As heavy rain lashed the city, people on the streets had to run for cover. The observatory first issued the amber signal at 10 minutes past noon before upgrading the warning to red at 1:35 p.m. All the signals were cancelled by 3:15 p.m. While some outdoor attractions like the Ong Ping cable car were suspended, ferry services continued on both sides of the harbor. Apart from the rough seas, passengers had to also endure the elements when they got on and off.
Under the influence of a trough of low pressure, there were heavy rain in the afternoon today in Hong Kong. In terms of rainfall recorded, more than 40 millimeters of rainfall were recorded over many places this afternoon. And rainfall over the northern parts of the New Territories and parts of Lantau even exceeded 60 millimeters.
Firefighters were called to Wong Nai Chung Road in Happy Valley after branches of a tree came crashing down amid the inclement weather. 4 reports of fallen trees were received by emergency services today. More rain is expected tomorrow, but the conditions should improve by the middle of the week. Overseas, 8 people were killed and 7 others wounded after a man opened fire with an automatic rifle at a mall in the U.S. state of Texas. He was shot dead by police on the scene, and a motive remains unknown. Raymond Yan reports.
This video, purportedly captured from a dashboard camera, showed the gunman getting off his car before firing indiscriminately at passers-by. More shots could be heard in the background as the vehicle continued to back up. In another video, panicked shoppers were seen running away from the scene as gunfire rang across the mall. Witnesses record the horrific moment.
Out of nowhere, heard about like 10 pops go off, and I look at the customer next to me. I was like, was that gunshots? And we see the guy. There's this guy dressed in all black, wearing a vest, has an assault rifle, and he's just shooting at people right across.
Police said an officer who happened to be at the mall on an unrelated call rushed to the scene and shot dead the gunman. He appeared to be wearing body armor with an AR-15 style rifle next to his body. Even after he was shot dead, the atmosphere remained tense as police reinforcements were initially on the lookout for a second gunman.
We're good here.
Well good, well good.
Open it, open it.
How many people are there?
I think about 10 or more.
All right, one by one, come out with your hands up.
Our rescue task force teams found 7 deceased individuals on scene. We transported 9 individuals to the hospital to area trauma facilities. Of those that we transported, 2 have since died, 3 are in critical surgery, and 4 are stable.
The mass shooting in Allen, a suburb in the Texas city of Dallas, follows a series of gun violence across the United States over the past week. It came just days after 5 people, also in Texas, were shot dead in their home by a neighbor. The Republican-controlled state is known for its lack of gun control laws. Raymond Yang, HKIBC.
A pro-war Russian novelist was injured when his car exploded in a suspected assassination attempt by Ukraine. Zakhar Prilepin, a well-known nationalist writer and an ardent supporter of President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, escaped with minor bone fractures. His driver was killed. A suspect has been detained, and authorities claim he confessed to acting on behalf of Ukrainian special services. This marked the second time a pro-Kremlin figure was targeted. Popular military blogger Vladlen Tatarsky was killed in an explosion last month at a cafe in St. Petersburg. The latest attack coincides with Victory Day celebration on Tuesday as Moscow gets ready to commemorate the defeat of Nazi Germany during the Second World War. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has kicked off a 2-day visit to South Korea. A small group of people protested outside the presidential office in Seoul, expressing their discontent over Kishida's arrival. They said Japan still owes South Korea an apology for the occupation of the Korean peninsula in the early 19th century. In a pacifist move, Kishida also visited the National Cemetery, which honors those who died fighting for Korean independence from Japan. Later, he was greeted by South Korean leader Yoon Suk-yeol at the presidential palace. Both sides are looking to overcome past differences and bolster security and economic ties amid China's growing might and the series of military provocation from North Korea. On to the weather now. Showers will ease gradually during the day tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 22 and 26 degrees, mostly overcast and windy for the next couple of days. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Sunday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Maisy Mok. Thanks for watching. Good night.